Okay, question 31. Which statement about the air pollutants is not correct? Question 31. What's the right answer for question 31? Uh, Carbon monoxide is formed by complete combustion. That's wrong. It is not formed by complete combustion. It is formed by incomplete combustion. So A is not a correct statement. Statement B is correct. Lead compounds are formed from some type of petrol. That's correct, because some petrols, leaded petrols are there. They add lead to reduce the volatility or increase the boiling point. Oxides of nitrogen are formed by combustion reaction inside a car engine. That's also true. Sulfur dioxide is formed by combustion of coal, because coal contains trace of sulfur. So sulfur react and form sulfur dioxide. So statement A was not correct. What is approximate percentage of argon in air? Approximate. The A is the right answer. Nitrogen 79, oxygen about 78%, oxygen 21%, remaining like argon is there, carbon dioxide is there. The diagram shows experiment involve rusting of iron. Student predict the following results. In tube P, iron nail rust. In tube Q, the iron nail do not rust, and R also iron nail do not rust. Which predictions are correct? So all the predictions are correct. One, two, three. Because this contain water and it's open, so air is also there. For rusting to occur, both iron and both water and oxygen should be there. So this is having both, so it will rust, reaction occur. But when we boil the water, basically water boiled to remove air, so there is no air present, and we put oil so that air cannot enter this water, so it will not rust. And this is anhydrous calcium chloride, a drying agent which absorbs the moisture, so does not, there is no moisture or water vapor, there is oxygen, so it will not rust as well. So A is the right answer. The diagram of a carbon cycle is shown. Which process are represented by letter W, X and Y? W, X and Y. Yeah, B is the right answer. Photosynthesis, because the plants taking, so W is photosynthesis, X is respiration, and Y is combustion, burning of the fossil fuel. Question 35. Which statement about the carbon cycle is correct? Question 35. Yeah, B is the right answer. You can see animal and plants need carbon dioxide for respiration, though they release or they need oxygen for respiration. So this is not correct. B is correct. Combustion of a plant or natural gas produce carbon dioxide. Plant produce glucose from carbon dioxide and oxygen. No, not oxygen. That's why C is not correct. And oxygen is produced by both animals and plant. That's wrong. So the only statement which is true is B. Now some structure questions. Clean dry air contain mainly nitrogen and oxygen. Name other two gases that are there in a clean dry air. The other two gases. Just nitrogen, argon, or carbon dioxide you can mention. But we have to mention other than hydrogen is not present in air. You don't have hydrogen present in air. Otherwise, you will see the reactions very common for air. Hydrogen is not part of the air. So you can mention carbon dioxide and any other like argon you can mention. Air often contain pollutants. Identify the three common gaseous pollutant and state how each of these pollutants are produced. So gaseous pollutant. Sulfur dioxide, methane by carbon monoxide by incomplete combustion, sulfur dioxide by burning of fossil fuel, oxides of nitrogen by car engines, and methane is by um, decomposition of organic waste or livestock. Lead is, but in the question, if you see, they ask gaseous. Lead is not a gas, gaseous pollutant. So you can mention methane by decomposition of organic waste. Or livestock or other sources you can mention. Second pollutant, if you write sulfur dioxide, how it is produced by combustion of fossil fuel containing sulfur and carbon monoxide. You can also mention oxides of nitrogen. It is due to the car engine. Oxide of nitrogen means it cover both nitrogen monoxide and nitrogen dioxide. So you can write NOx. NOx means like it can be oxide, nitrogen monoxide or nitrogen dioxide. Polluted air contain two oxides, carbon and uh, polluted air contains two oxides of carbon and two oxides of nitrogen. A major source of these pollutants is the motor vehicles. Describe how carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide are formed in the motor vehicle engine. So how it is formed in the engine? By burning of the fossil fuel or burning of the fuel or petrol. Complete combustion produce carbon dioxide and incomplete combustion produce carbon monoxide. So why 3 marks? One is by burning of the fuel or combustion of a fuel. The second mark is for complete combustion. Gives carbon dioxide, where incomplete combustion give carbon monoxide. State one adverse effect of each of these gases. What is the adverse effect of these gases? Global warming and greenhouse effect, global warming and suffocation. One is toxic, poisonous, can cause suffocation. Nitrogen monoxide is released by the motor vehicles. Explain how nitrogen monoxide is formed. So how nitrogen monoxide is formed in the motor vehicle? Yes, the heat from the combustion or at high temperature due to high temperature, nitrogen and oxygen from air react to form oxides of nitrogen. Next, they mention when nitrogen monoxide is released into the atmosphere, nitrogen dioxide is formed. When nitrogen monoxide is released, it converted into nitrogen dioxide. How or why? So why this happen? Like nitrogen monoxide is released, but what is going out is nitrogen dioxide, or it converted into nitrogen dioxide. What's the reason for that? So it react with oxygen in the atmosphere present in the atmosphere. Predict the possible adverse effect on the environment when a non-metal oxide react with water and oxygen. Like this non-metal oxide, oxide of nitrogen, react with water and oxygen. What is the adverse effect? So when, yeah, it will form acid rain is formed. And what effect it will have? It can affect the limestone building or statues, or increase, lower the, make the lakes and soil alkaline, affect the aquatic animals. Here it is mixed with, when nitrogen directly mixed with water, but in this dimension nitrogen plus water and oxygen, so it form acid rain. And how acid rain? It will lower the pH of soil or lakes, or destroy the stonework or statues or buildings which have limestone or calcium carbonate. How are the amount of carbon monoxide and nitrogen emitted from modern motor reduce? Include an equation to your in your answer. So how we reduce the effect of oxides of nitrogen? So using a car catalytical converter. So catalytical converter is used, and you can write the full equation. In catalytical converter, there is one thing oxidation, another one is reduction. But you can write the direct equation, the full equation for that, that oxides of nitrogen, such as like nitrogen monoxide, react with carbon monoxide, it will form nitrogen gas plus carbon dioxide. The reason why it's of 3 marks, because 1 mark is for completing a product, 1 mark is for balance equation, and 1 mark is for catalytical converter. The three common pollutants in the air are carbon monoxide, oxides of nitrogen, and unburned hydrocarbon. They are all emitted from motor vehicles. Describe how oxides of nitrogen are formed. So how oxides of nitrogen are formed? Again, the same answer, nitrogen and oxygen. So nitrogen and oxygen from air react at high temperature inside the car engine, form oxides of nitrogen. Then describe how a catalytical converter reduces the emission of three pollutants. What are the three pollutants they mentioned? Carbon monoxides, oxides of nitrogen, and unburned hydrocarbon. So basically what happened, how it reduces the emission. So carbon monoxide is converted into carbon dioxide by oxidation catalyst. Oxides of nitrogen converted into nitrogen by reduction catalyst, and hydrocarbon burns to make water. So the first answer was nitrogen react with oxygen will form at high temperature will form oxide of nitrogen. And the second one, what happened? Carbon monoxide oxidized to carbon dioxide. Then nitrogen monoxide reduced to nitrogen, and then unburned hydrocarbon or hydrocarbon burned to make water. One other atmospheric pollutant are lead compound from leaded petrol. Why lead compounds are harmful? What is the adverse effect of lead compounds? Yes, it will cause damage brain, reduce IQ. You can also mention can cause nausea, kidney failure, or lead compounds are toxic. So it can damage brain. Toxic you can mention and all the other factors I mentioned. Air is in a mixture of a gases. The main constant are the element oxygen and nitrogen. Name another element in air. Which element is present in air? Carbon dioxide is wrong because if you see they mention element. Carbon dioxide is a compound. So you can mention argon. Give the formula of a compound in unpolluted air. Which compound is present in unpolluted air? The formula of that compound. Compound. Oxygen is not a compound. Oxygen is an element, O2. It's carbon dioxide, the compound. Common pollutant present in air are oxides of nitrogen and sulfur dioxide. How these oxides of nitrogen form? So nitrogen and oxygen at high temperature react in the car engine. How oxides of sulfur are formed? Fossil fuel containing sulfur burn to produce sulfur dioxide. These oxides are largely responsible for acid rain. State two harmful effect of acid rain. So what acid rain can do? That damage the building, make the soil acidic, leach the soil or remove the nutrient from the soil, or kill fishes, or can damage tree, reduction the reduce the growth of the plant, because plant cannot grow in acidic soil. Okay. The percentage of oxygen in air can be determined by the following experiment. So we can use this experiment to find the percentage of oxygen in air. So what we have copper. Copper shots are there, like small amount of. We have copper shots. And we connect a gas syringe, both sides. So in the beginning, we have 50 cm cube of air, and we place copper. What will be the color of the copper? It will be brown or pink. The copper as a solid, it is brown or pink in color. So what we will do, we'll supply a heat energy. We are finding percentage of oxygen in the air, like how much air, how much oxygen is present in this air. We have 50 cm cube. So what we will do, we will push the gas syringe. When we push the gas syringe, the air will move over the copper and it will react with copper. It will move to other syringe, then we'll press from other side until the volume of the air is not changing, or the copper, all of this copper, because originally it is copper which is brown, but when it react with oxygen, it will turn into copper oxide, which make it black. So it will change color from brown to black. So 50 cm cube, 50 the gas syringe contain 50 cm cube of air. The large pile of copper is heated and air is passed over the copper. The large pile of a copper turned black. Why it turned black? Because of formation of copper oxide. The gas is allowed to cool. Why we allow the gas to cool and then measure the volume? Because if we measure the temperature, if we measure the volume of high temperature, the volume will come out more, because the volume of the gas is affected by temperature as well. So temperature and volume are directly proportional. That's why we should lower the temperature or measure the volume at room temperature. Explain why the copper in the large pile turned black. What's the reason? Copper in a large pile turned black. So oxygen react with copper and it will form copper oxide. It's of 2 marks. So 1 mark is for oxygen, mentioning oxygen react. So oxygen react with copper, forms copper oxide. The next part, why must the gas be allowed to cool before the volume is measured? Because the volume of the gas is affected by temperature, or volume of a gas depends on the temperature as well. So we should not measure at high temperature, because if we measure at high temperature, then volume will not be same as at low temperature, because the volume of a gas affected by temperature. Why the copper in the small pile did not turn black? Because there is no oxygen left, or all of the oxygen used up. What is the approximate volume of the gas left in the apparatus? So original volume of the air is 50 cm cube. So the formula, because air contains 21% of oxygen, so 21% will be used up and remaining 79% will be left. So percentage of the left air is equals to volume of air left divided by volume of air, the total volume of air multiplied by 100. Because air contains 21% oxygen, so 21% oxygen will be used up, remaining 79% of air will be left. Volume of air left, we don't know. What was the volume of air in the beginning? It was 50, and this is divided, multiplied by 100. If we solve, so it will be 79 multiplied by 50 divided by 100. What's the answer? 79 multiplied by 50 divided by 100. It will not be in percentage, it will be in number, because we are finding volume of left air will be the volume of the left air, the percentage of the left air is 79%, because 21% is reacted, so left will be 79%. So 39.5 centimeter cube is the volume of air left unreacted. Is it clear how we worked out the volume of air? State a use of each of the following gases. Chlorine. What is the use of chlorine? To kill bacteria, for HCl production. No, HCl production is not there. Manufacture of plastic, pharmaceutical companies, insecticides, dyes, household cleaning products, bleach, water treatment, swimming pools. Then what is the use of argon? Filament bulb. What is the use of ethene? Use of ethene. Production of alcohol, ethanol, or ethene polymerized to form polymer. For production of polymer also it can be used. What is the use of oxygen? For oxygen is for manufacture of steel, cutting metal, oxygen tanks in hospital, astronauts, deep sea diving, firefighters, welding, you can mention, diving tanks. Describe how oxygen is obtained from air. So how we obtain oxygen from the air? By fractional distillation. So but if 2 marks, so how you'll get, so fraction distillation of liquid air. So 2 marks, you will, 1 mark is for fraction distillation and the second mark is for liquid air. So these are some questions remaining. I will share as a weekly homework so that you can also solve by yourself. Any doubt related to this topic, air and water? So we completed this chapter as well and left with moles stoichiometry that will start next week. And we'll start past paper discussion. Yeah, that's the last chapter. And we'll start the past paper discussion from next week as well. Because the moles topic, you will find 4 to 6 mark question in the past paper. Other than that, you can complete the whole past paper. So Monday we will do paper 4 and Tuesday we'll do paper 6. Paper 2 is like every Monday we'll do paper 4, the structure questions, and on Tuesday we'll do paper 6 practice for chemistry.
Yes, sir. Can you send the schedule in the group?
Yeah, sure, I will send. Even I will send the paper which I will discuss next week, so you can go through it. So I'll end the session and share the recording with you. Next week we'll start moles topic as well, because moles topic is a practice. So it's not like I will try to finish chapter only in one day. It's need a practice. So I will give you a concept about moles, then we'll do some questions and do practice, past paper practice through for the whole course. So I'll end the session and share the recording with you.